All right, so I am Matt, and I am in New Zealand, and really excited to work with some of you guys. And I hope you'll be able to turn your cameras on and have chats when we go into some breakout rooms and actually get to know each other a little bit more. What a cool way to meet people around the world who are doing similar work to what you're doing. And I've got the assumption that because you've signed into this workshop, you work with children or young people, and you're just looking for some more tools, I suppose. And so I hope we will just touch on a few things that work for me. It is only about 40 minutes from now of workshop. So let's go for it. Here we go. Working in. Now, I'm going to ask someone's help here. Can you tell me what screen you're seeing when I go to it? Oh, here we are. When I go there, are you seeing a big screen or a little screen? Janet, you're the only one with the camera on. Oh no, Jackie's got her camera on now.
Matt, we're seeing presenter view.
Presenter view. Okay, so I'm going to switch that around. Thank you. Is it that one? No, it's this one. Swap displays. How's that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Matt, that's
perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. All right. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at solution-focused conversations. I do have a website if you wanted to go there and have a little look. It's www.discoversolutions.nz. Very simple. So if you're a solution-focused buff, Discover Solutions is the way to go. Cool. Okay, can I go here? I want to put you in little groups just to get you conversing with each other a wee bit for 3 minutes. I want you to imagine that in a year's time, you've just completed your first draft of a book about working with children. So I want you to, I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat. I should have had that all ready to go, but I haven't. Maybe you can remember it, but I'll put it in the chat anyway. So you've got your first draft of a book, and I want you to wonder and talk to each other just for a few minutes. What would be the title? What inspired you to write this book? Who would be your biggest supporter? And what would be your best hopes from writing it? So just 4 questions around that. So I'm going to buzz into groups.
One title we discussed was, happy to give it a go, because kids are hesitant to, if they can't do it, they won't try it. So,
yes.
If they're happy to give it a go, and then you'll have characters there that are, can't do this, but they're happy to give it a go and they can do it,
That's right. That's cool. I like Jackie's one there. It's a kind of magic. We could have a theme song there.
Mm.
Cool. Keep going. Anyone else? This book is for kids to help themselves. Absolutely. Thank you, Eileen. The things kids say. Yes. Bring it. Let's see some cool, absolutely superhero kids coming out with their imagination, their resilience bursting. What else? Give me a couple more. Go on. Get typing. Use move those fingers. I hardly type anything anymore, actually. I use dictation so much, and you can't do that on Zoom. Not so much. Living the best life. Pitched for children, yes. Being the best version of you. Something like that would be cool.
Mm.
One more. Susan's bursting. Come on, you're typing. She does 3 things at once, this Susan.
That's me. He's already done one.
Oh, there you are there. Yes, of course. Thank you. I thought it would be fun to write a book for children from a granny's point of view. Yeah, bring it out, third person. What would Granny notice when things are going well? All right, let me throw this back into the slideshow. Yeah, please tell me. No, no, it's switched again, hasn't it? Or is it?
No,
That's right.
You can see the big screen? Okay, cool.
Yep.
It's switched on my computer. It's weird. Okay, so there's the next slide. Funny enough. Oh. What is the superhero in us? Now, I won't do this task, but I do love when this comes up, and it often comes up working with children about their superhero. Who's your superhero? And what would you notice? You know, find out questions about that superhero, and what would be most pleased about that superhero trait that you have, and what do they like? And a lot of them say invisibility, funny reason, or speed. They like those ones. But what difference would it make? How did you get good at that? You know, when there's personal skills involved, who would notice when that superhero trait shows up? And what would others notice? Is those are my three most common questions: the difference, noticing, and what would others notice? This sort of thing. But this is another one that comes up often when kids say, "I don't know." What does IDK mean? This is a funny joke when you have this conversation with people. You ask, "What is IDK?" and they say, "I don't know." No, what does it mean? I don't know. So IDK, I don't know. But I'm curious, when you're talking with kids, what are the good reasons that they would have for I don't know? Can some people put in the chat again? Let's use that chat facility. What are the good reasons why children, for example, say, I don't know? They don't want to say it. Yep. They don't trust you yet. That's a good one. Yep, absolutely. Don't want to be jumped on by an adult. Yeah, that's right. That happens a lot. They don't think they haven't. They think they've got the wrong answer. That quite often happens. You know, they have never thought about it like that before. Yeah, they feel confused. This is I didn't think I was doing the counselling. You're going to give me advice. You got to tell me what to do. I don't know. No one's invited them to think well of themselves. Yeah, so there's that low confidence in there as well. So I don't know. And so I usually talk to kids about when they say, I don't know, I say, that is such a good answer. I usually always say that. That's such a good answer, because it tells me I'm asking you good questions. Because when you say, I don't know, it's probably that you haven't thought about it before, or you need to stretch your brain and you know exercise your brain, and that's my job as a counsellor, to stretch your brain and to really get the best out of this process, this conversation. So there are good reasons, and I think we need to ask ourselves sometimes when they say I don't know, rather than oh, you just don't want to answer my questions. It's actually you've got a really good reason for that, and maybe I need to. I'm quite animated, so I'll like use my hands and try and suck out of their brain. I can see the answer behind your eyes, and enjoy having that conversation with the kids and connecting that way. So I don't know. One of the biggest things I do probably with kids a lot of the time is with scaling. And scaling in the solution focused context is a little bit different from just other modalities that want assessment. And so here's a normal scaling dialogue. Where would you rate yourself in regard to a solution focused capability and working with children and teens? That would be the best hope, right? Or if there's whatever it was, the best hope would fill that space there. Pick a number on a scale between 1 and 10, where 10 is I'm amazing and 1 is the opposite. I think there's these days, and I think even actually Steve DeShazer, when I watched one of his scaling ones, he didn't define what one meant. Well, he says 0 actually, but Insu uses 1, and they don't define that opposite. That can be whatever it is. It's not the 10. It's not the best hopes, that sort of thing. It's not the purpose they're there for, to find something better in their lives. So whatever that number is said, how come you are at that number? And this is where the solution focused conversation is really amplifying and digging into resource in terms of potential, possibilities, all those sorts of things. How did you get to a 2? Is that, and it's like, I'm really interested. Why is it a 2 and not just a 1? Not worried about the deficit of why it's not a 10. And I said this illustration, this is the best illustration I have in terms of working with a teenage boy one time when I was asking him about his grief. And I said, so on a scale of 1 to 10, where you're managing your grief and 10 is really well and 1 is the opposite, where would you be? And he said -400. And I can clearly remember and I'm glad I knew solution focused approach then, because I could say, so why -400 and not -1,000? And it was such a natural conversation. And he said, well, I'm here, aren't I? And I said, yeah, okay, so what else? Well, I sometimes talk to my friends about it. And what else? Well, it's not all that bad or something. There's those kind of conversations, but it's amplifying why it's that and not lower. And how did you get to there? And then the next step is always, what would you notice if you moved up the scale? What would you notice that things were getting better? And what else? So the scaling conversation, and I would always, my common technique with scaling is like, let's say they say I'm a 4 out of 10. So I say, okay, can you give me 4 reasons why it's a 4 out of 10? And or if they say 7 out of 10, give me 7 reasons why it's a 7 out of 10. It's just a nice number that I'm going to get more than 1 or 2 things. I'm going to get more. And then when we get to 4, I say, oh, that was so easy. That was so quick. Let's do another 4. Or something like that, to just keep stretching the brain. That's my whole purpose, is to stretch that brain, and let's work with these kids on their level and using their language. So scaling is a really good technique with working with kids. So here's a scale on a long-term goal or a short-term goal, in the short-term future. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is you have reached that goal and 1 is I haven't started, and I have defined the 1 there. We could practice. What do you notice in those things? You're not muted there, John. I'm just trying to find a mute button. You can hear the dishes going. So that's another scanning exercise there as well. Follow-up questions, what's been better? And there's no wrong answer to the what's been better. It can be something has been better, and we dig in. And I've started doing a lot more of really analyzing those conversations about what's been better. So I went for a walk to the park or something, and I was like, so what did you notice about yourself when you're walking to the park? And really digging into the details of what has been better. Who else noticed that improvement? Who else noticed? And what difference did it make? Who would be most pleased to see those changes happening and you stepping out if there's an anxiety issues there? If they say, no, things are about the same, it always astounds me with the answers they come up with when I follow up with a question around, so what have you done to keep things the same and not getting worse? Just a very simple solution. I didn't make it up. I was taught that response. So how have you kept it the same? How have you stopped it from getting worse? And they always, I'm going to say always, come up with something that's been better. When I ask that question, they might bring up the thing that they went for a walk to the park, or they controlled their anger once during the week or something like that. And then the same sort of a response as well. It's not better, it's worse. Then my instant reply is, so how have you kept it from getting even worse? Or what's given you hope to come back today that things can be better and we can have a really good conversation around that with the follow-up questions. So working with kids is the same in those kind of questions that we would work with anybody there as well. Those are the responses. Now, lists is a really big thing. So I'm just going to fire out a whole lot of ideas that work for me. Lists, and this will just try to this is one of the last things really in some ways. Lists, and just getting lists of gains, of things that work for them, what works, all that sort of stuff, is just a really good way of stretching the brain of some of these young people. So here's an activity that all these are on my website, these little practice tasks. That's why the website's on the thing. So discoversolutions.nz, there's like 106 of these little practice tasks on there. So practice, print them off, use them with staff, use them with kids, whatever. You find everyone, and then when you come up with ideas, send me some as well, so I can make more. Reality TV. Ask a partner to imagine one of the happiest points in your life that was filmed on reality TV, and from the moment you knew about it was about to happen until the morning after, and we watched the show together, what are 10 things you would see occurring that would let us know this is the happiest time? 10 things that would let us know that that others were pleased, that others would see in others that pleased you, and 5 things that were different as a result of this happy time. So just little things, again, making lists of gratitude. I really like doing this one, and usually with the work I'm doing, I'm given 6 sessions with children, and so often those first 4 sessions, if we need that many, are just diving into what's working for them and what's better, and the miracle questions kind of things, and little scaling questions. But I usually like to end the last session, the 6th session, with a gratitude list. What are you most grateful for? And this is, mental health 101. If you're talking to anybody about mental health and you say, oh, we need to be more grateful and do more about gratitude, I've found teachers, mental health, social workers, they all go, oh, that's so good. Yes, we need more gratitude. So making lists like this, and I can remember one girl doing a list of 60, and it was really quick. It only took 20 minutes or half an hour to do this big list of gratitude things that were working for them, and just keep going. And I did one last night with an adult. He's about 40 years old actually, and he got to number 7 and said, there's no way I'm going to get to 50. And I just nodded and smiled and said, yeah, others have said that. Others have said that. Let's just carry on. What do you think would be, what would you be grateful for? What do you have that others in the world might not have? And then they come up with little things like water and shoes and the clothes they're wearing and the pillow they've got and the blankets they've got, and just it starts this stretching the brain in terms of positivity, gratitude sort of stuff. And I really like making lists of gratitude with the kids I work with. The other thing I love doing is posters, and this is constructed. We make a list of, I think this is 10 things that help Lockie be calm. And he said, bottle flipping, sleeping, exercise, drawing, playing with Lego, playing with a fidget ball, counting, hugs from mum, deep breathing. These are just the things that he came up with. Basketball, lollies, make him help him be calm. Maybe they don't always, but I just take what he says. It's all good. And then we go into, we'll do this live in front of him like this, and then we go onto Google and we type in these ideas, and he picks the picture that would be best fitting that sort of thing. And we make these little posters. He takes them home and it goes on his wall. And it's amazing those times when we come back the next week, and it's and he'll say, oh, I was doing more of those things. I was doing this. When I say what's been better, oh, I was staying calm more, and I was doing more exercise and those kind of things. So love that sort of stuff. So here's another example of a poster. There's a poster for confident Archie. So he was really, his best hopes were to be more confident. And so I just asked for examples, and he drew these little examples, and I wrote the words. he'd jump off the big diving board was one of the things that'd be a sign that his confidence had grown and things are improving. He'd be an example to others, and just doing a poster about these things. He'd go into the deep end of the pool, and he'd climb the tree, because one time he got up a tree and he got stuck up the tree and things like that. So cool little posters like that. Ways to make Caleb feel better. So this is just things. He hasn't got the words on here, but he has just talked about playing on the playground, doing puzzles, playing with Lego, watching YouTube, playing rugby, looking after his little brother, think when things are going to be okay. It's all there. It's going to be okay. Just self-talk. That's right. He talked about that, watching movies, those sorts of things as well. Things to help it down. Be calm. Hugs, deep breathing, praying, fidget, snake he liked playing with. I always have fidget toys in my office when I'm working with kids as well. They love just touching and playing and bending things. Here's another one, calm Oscar, same sort of thing. He talked about he's getting angry, so he's like playing with Lego, and he just found these pictures, deep breathing, playing with the fidgets, cool things like that. The other thing I like, this is where these lists can tie in. I don't know how many people have played with Chat GPT, but this is turning lists, and I found this is a really, really cool thing, and kids love it because they see their words created into something artistic like a poem or a rap, or just even lists of advice. So ChatGPT, and you have to sign up for this, and it keeps a record of all the chats that you have, you see, as well. So you can copy and paste it, print it onto a page, and make a cool poster. So here's an example. So I asked, give advice to a 10-year-old girl about how to maintain friendships. So ChatGPT came up with these lists of, I don't know how many things it was. This is just a sample. Being kind and respectful. Treat your friends in a way that you would like to be treated. Kindness and respect are the foundation of any good friendship. Being a good listener is a key to maintaining friendships. When your friends are talking, pay attention to what they're saying. And it just came up with all these ideas. But then we can go like this, as a poem. So all I get is to ChatGPT gave a little instruction there, and it said, so in the garden of friendship, seeds we sow. With kindness and care, our bonds will grow. Listen with ears and hearts open wide, for friends are treasures always by your side. Communication, the bridge to we build strong. Through words and actions, we all belong. Supporting each other in joys and tears. Together we conquer our hopes and fears. So that was an example of ChatGPT coming up with kind of the advice and then writing it into a poem. But here's an example. Write a poem for an 8-year-old girl about sleeping through the night. So this was her best hopes for being able to sleep through the night. Include ideas. So this is her ideas. It makes mum happy. I want to keep mum happy. Mum believes I can do it. I've done it before. Dad thinks I'm a big girl. My cat, Summer, keeps me company. I'm safe at home. I've got my dolls, and it should be teddies next to me. Obviously, I used dictation when I was writing this in. It feels good when I do it. It's good to be in my own bed. So those are kind of her reasons for wanting to sleep through the night. And then I just asked Mo to write this poem. So it says, on a world of dreams and moonlit night, a tale unfolds for a girl so bright. 8 years old with a heart so sweet, a bedtime story, a nightly feat. Mum's joy shines like stars so high. When you sleep through the night, oh my, I want to keep mum smiling wide in dreams in slumber where fairies bide. And it just goes on. There's probably about 6 or 7 verses to that poem with all her ideas into that poem, which is pretty cool. Here's, and then after that conversation with ChatGPT, I just said, how about give me some solution-focused questions to help counsel this girl? So this is certainly solution-focused questions aimed to guide individuals towards identifying and building on their strengths and resources. Here are some tailored for an 8-year-old girl. And again, I mean, I think this is a bit 1.0, some of these, when you ask for solution-focused things, but It's like, oh, imagine waking up one morning when everything related to sleeping through the night has changed miraculously. What would be the first thing you'd notice? I like that question. Exception questions. Can you think of a time when you did sleep through the night? What was different about that night? Are there moments when you feel a bit like a big girl, even outside of bedtime? What happens? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is finding it really hard to sleep at night and 10 is sleeping like a champion, where would you place yourself right now? What would you need to do to move up? So there's a task. I wouldn't ask that question. I'd say, what would you notice when you have moved up the scale? Of course. That's another one. Here's another. Write a poem for a 9-year-old boy that talks about being happy. Include ideas. So these are his ideas. Feeling better, feeling cared for, getting treats. Those are the things on that poster, I think we might have been. Feeling loved by mum and dad, getting hugs from his soft toy, Charlie Monkey. Feeling more confident, I can do it. I can do anything. Doing good stuff, explode with happiness, and having more energy. So those are the things that he would notice. So write a poem. In a world of wonders where joy takes flight, a 9-year-old boy, his heart shining bright, with a skip in his step and a twinkle in his eye, let's paint a picture of happiness high. When the day feels grey and clouds are in sight, there's a secret remedy to make things right. Feeling better comes with a loving embrace, mum and dad's hugs, a comforting grace. So again, just a nice putting his ideas into an artistic kind of poem. And we can make books of these things as well. I have. Here's there's a rap, same sort of thing. Yo, listen up, a tale to share about a 9-year-old boy with joy in the air, feeling better, with love to spare. Mum and dad's hugs, a feeling so rare. Treats on the table, a sweet surprise, sugar-coated dreams reaching the skies. Charlie Monkey, a soft toy so fly, the soft toy so fly, hugs all around, making spirits high. Quite a cool little rap that if I knew how to rap, I could do it. And kids enjoy that as well. A 9-year-old girl who's anxious about leaving her mum. She finds fidgeting, listening to Ed Sheeran, singing in her head or out loud, cuddling her teddies or playing with her friends or playing with her dog Buster helps. So again, putting those ideas. Certainly. Here we go. And then, so it's there's the ideas put into it. And then as a poem, in a world of worries, a little girl stands, anxiety grips her heart, tightening like bands, but fear not, little child, for help is here, a guiding hand to calm your trembling fear. When leaving your mum feels like a daunting task, embrace these remedies, let your anxieties unmask, fidget with your hands, let them dance and sway, find solace in motion as worries fade away. So again, just quite a cool little thing. So I'm going to put you back into groups again as we just finish for this last 10 minutes or so. I want you to discuss what are you already doing, working on what works with young people, and try and get a list of 25 things. So I'm going to cancel there. Here we go. No, it's fine. I've got a list of when I did this on a similar activity online in January this year.
Yeah.
And I've got and it all ended up being typed out in there. So I can put a slide up, but it's a really small writing. So I'll just read out some of these things, shall I? Well,
Yeah.
no,
I mean, we can say what we came
unmute.
up
Yeah,
with.
go on, unmute and just blurt it out. You've got 2 minutes.
Well, do you want me to do it, Kathy and Rex, or shall? Yeah, okay. So very much engaging the child where they're at, following their point of interest.
Yes.
I very much like asking a child what's something that's been absolutely marvelous for you in the last 2 days, and it can
Yes.
be an item or it can be an activity, and then get them to build a picture on that particular thing. I find more than 2 days. If you just keep it very vague and too general,
Yes.
they look at you blankly. But if you concrete it down to even that day or the last 2 days, you get something
That's
good.
cool. Yep.
And then just follow along, building up the picture, and very much following where the child's at, and not, Kathy made the point, like video game stuff, if that's what really works for them.
Yeah.
Don't judge it, just go along with it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I've had kids play, 8-year-old kids playing R18,
Yeah.
Tour of Duty and
And the
Tin
other
Tops and
thing,
stuff. It's like, oh,
which I feel is a good thing with kids, younger kids, is have them doing something while they're, don't just do the eyeball to eyeball talk, have
Yes.
them drawing, colouring in if they're very young, or a fidget thing, but not just you eyeball to eyeball, because that's
Yeah.
pretty
I tell you,
off-putting, frankly.
I've got a laser cutter, and I've got all these puzzles, and they're
Oh,
just simple ones, and they're just tactile with wood, made out of wood,
Yeah.
and kids just can spend the whole 40 minutes, 45
Yeah.
minutes just putting these things together and talking at the same time. It's just
talking, because often they don't actually want to eye contact you,
yes,
and that's
there is.
fine. I think that's fine. Yeah.
I remember there was some research around, because it's the brain that's creating and problem solving, that front part there. And when you're drawing or doing things and solving problems like a puzzle or something, it opens that part of the brain so that they answer questions. And it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I would
I've had
agree.
examples where I've said, so what's been better this week? I don't know. Oh, let's start doing this puzzle. And then they start doing it. And then you say, what's been better? Oh, this and this and this. And it's
Yeah,
just, you've
yeah.
opened up their brain. Yeah.
I would agree. I think that they're all good things with children, and depending on the age of the child, but even adolescents don't want to stare at someone like us. Let's be honest. They're
Yes.
just, it's just not what they want. They
No,
want
I've got
something, yeah.
I've got missing fingers, Susan. So they quite like the
Oh,
the missing fingers, you see.
I don't. I think they're a little bit scary, actually.
That becomes a talking point. I did it on purpose, just to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the conversation. Yeah. Anyway, we better go because Mark McCougo is turning up in 30
Okay.
seconds.
Okay.
Thanks, team.
Thank you.
And,
Bye for now.
good.
Thanks,
Bye.
Matt.